I kind of did a Quentin Tarantino on this one. I reviewed a more recent release of a Yonex string, the Yonex PolyTour Spingy. I'll leave a link to that review in this corner if you guys want to check it out. Before reviewing its predecessor, its originator, the Yonex PolyTour Spin. This blue string from Yonex is a 5-sided co-poly, and it is $15 per packet and comes in at about $200 per full reel. Hit like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be notified of when I upload original tennis content. A small action like this supports this channel in a very, very major way. Also, for you video gamers out there, I started a YouTube gaming channel called Toxic Gaming. I will leave a link to that channel down in the section below if you want my take on Amazon's new MMORPG called New World. It's kind of a rival to World of Warcraft, my old love. Anywho, let's take this string to a local outdoor tennis court and see how it compares to some of my favorite shaped co-polys out there. There was little to no break-in period for this string. A bit of a surprise given how relatively stiff and sharp this tennis string felt while stringing. But obviously, this is a welcome surprise. Who wouldn't take a string that doesn't have a break-in period? The topspin for this string was top-notch. Not nearly as much spin potential or bite as the Vocal V-Square or the Solinco Tour bite, which would destroy your elbow, but it was noticeable and welcome nonetheless. There were a few times where a topspin ground stroke of mine felt like it was going to go just a little bit long past the baseline, but it ended up dropping a few inches inside of the baseline for a surprise to my opponent. This was a similar feeling in the dip of the ball as the Solinco Hyper-G, my very first tennis string review, but I didn't notice that it occurred nearly as frequently. Still pretty good though. One thing I am typically scared of with stiffer strings like this is that the launch angle wouldn't be nearly as high as it should be. I'm looking at you, Dunlop Explosive Speed, where I would have to work extra to get that ball over the net for a decent net clearance. But I'm happy to report that this is not the case for this string. The underspin potential for this string was surprising, to say the least. I've commented for several of the round polys I've reviewed in the past that although the underspin feedback off the string bed was consistent, it usually felt soft but decent enough, but sometimes, yes, underpowered. This string, being a shaped co-poly, actually dealt better with underspin than a lot of the round polys I reviewed in the past. In fact, this string is probably the best string for slices for any poly I have ever reviewed on this channel. Off the string bed, the ball bit into the string enough and launched with great velocity and steady direction over the net, still dipping low into the other side of the net after it bounced. Whatever Yonex has done with this string for slices is truly remarkable. Good job, Yonex. Slicing with this string is a dream. Along those same lines, the feel of the string was pretty plush for a shaped stiffer co-poly. The ball did launch off the string bed, but even for flatter shots like approach shots, I felt like I was complete control of it, unlike the Vocal V-Square. I also felt confident enough throwing in random drop shots from the baseline because the ball dwelled on the string just long enough to get me feedback through my arm on how much more power I needed to put behind that finesse shot to get it over the net. The comfort too was astounding. Even on slight mishits, I didn't have any discomfort in my hand, wrist, or arm. Yes, the ball did lose a little bit of power on off-center hits, but directionally, the ball behaved as expected. The flat first serves came in pretty fast as well. I didn't feel like I lost any type of pace or speed on my first serves with this string. In fact, I think I did just add a little bit more oomph behind the ball, given how plush this string felt. The spin serves, both side spin and kick serves, were hit with open arms and confidence as well. Although the spin potential for serves wasn't nearly as much as the Solinco Hyper-G, it was still very noticeable. This is where the string really separated itself from the other shaped polys I've tried on this channel. Without a doubt, this string is the best shaped poly for volleys I've ever played with by far. Reaction and defensive volleys had enough power to land somewhat deep in no man's land so your opponent didn't pass you right away. Stick volleys had enough control and power to make almost any volley shoulder height into a winner in most situations. And if you really felt like it, you could have touch shots and drop shots at the net to make your opponent scramble for their dear life. Honestly, if your volleys are around the 4.0 NTRP level or higher, you could make the ball dance at your will at a moment's notice with this string. Top marks for the volleys on the string. Good job, Yonex. It might seem like I'm giving this Yonex PolyTour spin glowing reviews, and I totally am. It is an amazing string that deserves to be commended and noticed. However, I have 3 major concerns with this string. Number 1, I absolutely hate it when major tennis manufacturers like Yonex release a string, specifically a poly, where the thickest gauge you can get it is 16L. It's no secret that a thinner gauge performs better in every single way possible except for durability. But it is a business decision by Yonex. The question is it a business decision for Yonex to do this to make these strings break faster so they can make a better profit? If it is, shame on Yonex. In all honesty, that wouldn't surprise me. But I am absolutely willing to try this string in the regular 16 gauge. Yonex, I hate that you did this. Number 2, I still think the asking price of $15 per packet is a little bit steep for this string. I would be much happier if this was at the $12 or $13 a packet range. Yes, I understand that Yonex is headquartered and probably manufactured in Japan. So there are things such as tariffs and overall transportation costs and logistic issues for them to get strings to the US where I'm located. But at the end of the day, we are consumers. And they are the company. They need to figure that shit out. As of now, I'm saying that this is slightly too expensive for the regular consumer. Number 3, the durability of the string was pretty garbage. This string broke in under 4 hours of straight hitting, which is a huge disappointment. More reason that this is not a consumer-friendly string along with the price. The marketing on the string is extremely misleading, especially because it literally says durability on the packet itself. Overall, to put this string into perspective, imagine a slightly softer and more powerful version of the Slinko Hyper G, but just a little bit more, actually, significantly more expensive. Yeah, this is a dream of a string, except for the price and durability for people like you and me. This playtest was with the 16L gauge of this string, strung at 52 pounds by Head Radical Pro version 2019. And if you want to support this channel publicly, join my YouTube membership for only $2.99 a month to support these expenses of giving you unbiased tennis string and overall tennis equipment reviews so I don't have to be bribed by major tennis companies. And as always, happy hitting.